Michigan letter jacket, wearing the Big Ten championship ring.
You see what it is? I had to take it back. Listen, I'm gonna tell you like this. You know what, Ryan? It's your day. It's your day. I have nothing to say. You have the first words. You have the first crack, because I didn't think it.
Look, I thought they could win the game. I thought they definitely had a chance to win the game, Tom Mazaway. Good afternoon,
man.
To you.
I had to give you one of those handheld mics so you can just drop it. Great call, man. I saw Saturday how happy you were. It warm my heart how happy you were. And I wasn't going to watch the game. And I couldn't take my eyes off the damn thing. And I stayed in the exact seat the entire time. It was fun. Great Saturday.
KG, Pete Spivak. Good afternoon to you, gentlemen.
Oh, great afternoon.
Hello, sir.
Look, I've watched Ohio State football a lot this year. And, it was just a perfect capper to a holiday weekend. By the way, how was everybody's holiday?
I know, right? We jumped right into it. Mine was amazing. I got a chance. I'm not a big eater. I was saying this before we started the show. You guys have seen me at dinner. I don't eat a lot. It just is what it is. Even during the holidays, I'll make one big plate, and I'll eat half of it, and then I'll eat the rest later. Nah, I don't know what it was. I don't know what came over me. That's why I was at the gym today. But I went to my dad's house, then my girl's house. When I got to my mom's house, ate dinner. Then when I got back home later at night, I ate the plate from her parents' house. And then the next day I woke up, went to Stan's house, shout out to Pops, went to Dad's house, got my plate, went back to my girl's house, smashed that plate, and I sat on the couch all day. And then I repeated a little bit of that Saturday and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So all I did was eat.
That's incredible stuff.
Yeah.
The Bazaways make out okay?
We did all right, man. It's always a fun day. We do the whole trifecta on Thanksgiving. They got the run, the turkey trot. My sister and nieces and my daughters did it. Kathy couldn't because she's got a bad back this time. First time she's missed it. Then the parade. Then we all got to go to most of us got to go to the Lions game, and we'll talk about that later. And that was not a fun game for me. That's all I got to say. But Saturday was a great pick-me-up from Thursday.
It absolutely was. And just getting back to this point about Ohio State, I have watched Ohio State all year, and I didn't think Michigan was going to be as bad as they were this year. It's impossible to play football without a quarterback, and I'm sorry, just Davis Warren, Alex Orji, Jack Tuttle,
and whoever else.
And whoever, right. Yeah. It just never seemed like we had anything going offensively. The wide receivers, nothing going offensively. But defensively, we were really good. I think our front four is as good as any in the country. Will Howard at quarterback, to me, never impressed me all year long. Never once did I sit there and have that J.J. McCarthy moment where you remember a year ago, Maz, you'd say, what has he done that makes you believe, this is prior to last year, makes you believe, Braylon, that this guy's got anything. I'm just telling you, Will Howard has never had that moment for me this year where I think this guy is great. Combine that with the fact that Ohio State's center was out. I think that is a big factor. And Michigan dominated up front. Those front four had their way with Ohio State, kept them in the game long enough to make a play. If you would have told me, and I thought Michigan was going to win again, but if you told me Michigan would win despite two interceptions from
Davis
Warren, I'd have told you probably not in the cards. But man, oh man, yes, I do feel some. There's some apologies that could be levied my way this afternoon.
Here's what I have to say about it. Last week when we started talking, last time we did the show, it was a week ago today. When you said Ohio State was going to lose to Michigan, I said, nah, I don't see it. I said, look, Michigan will cover the spread. Was where I was at. Where the spread was 20, I said Michigan would cover. I didn't think they would win. We didn't do the show Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You start remembering what Ohio State is and what Ohio State has been over the past. So still, I did not think Michigan was going to win. Let me start by saying that for y'all say cap. I didn't think Michigan would win. But then Thursday comes and you're like, Ohio State is missing their center, missing their defensive tackle, and also they're not a physical team anyway. They haven't been a physical team under Ryan Day. Then you start to look at what you said, Will Howard. There's a reason why Kansas State was happy. Well, not happy, but let him go. Like Will Howard, not once this season did you say this guy is going to win the Heisman. Because he has the stats. He has the numbers. But you never looked at him as a member of the Heisman. The fact that he had those numbers at Ohio State, it lets you know that you didn't trust him. And then there's the biggest factor. The head coach at Ohio State has something in his mental that he cannot beat Michigan. It's not Jim Harbaugh he can't beat. He can't beat Michigan. He puts too much on himself. So now you start to build that up. All right, yeah, maybe they got an outside chance, but a lot will have to happen. You watch the game. Ohio State, they're in the red zone. Throw an interception. Ohio State, they're inside the red zone. Miss a field goal. Now you're starting to say, shoot, they keep running the ball at the big fella. Ohio State keeps running the ball at the big fella. Ohio State misses another field goal. Ohio State, another interception inside the red zone. What the hell is going on here? Then you realize Matt said something on the phone. These kids never beat Michigan. They don't know what it means to beat Michigan. They don't know how to just play the game. There's no way you can tell me that Ryan Day watches that 2-minute drill at the end of the half, never goes back to it. You spreaded Michigan out. You got the balls in the hands of your receivers, your playmakers, and you went down the field, you scored a touchdown. You never go back to that. There's a mental disconnect with Ryan Day playing against University of Michigan. You saw my tweet. I said, are you kidding me, Ohio State? Michigan sure take it.
They were pressing.
Yeah.
That's a team that literally saw ghosts on Saturday. They did. And then, Bray, when I said they're playing like they can't beat Michigan, Ryan Day is pressing.
And I just credited you for
they
saying
choked
that at the time, too.
And then you jumped on it and you said they stink on top of that. They're not what you think they are.
Yeah.
Now, I thought they were a lot better than that, and I still think they're better than that. Now, when they get in the playoff, I'm still going to bet on them to win a couple of games.
Okay.
But Michigan had their number on Saturday. They played the perfect game. Everything went their way, and I don't even know what to say. I so enjoyed that game. I really loved that game.
Man, it's funny you say that. I actually enjoyed that win more than I only beat Ohio State once. And you can make excuses for what happened. Look, we lost. I only beat them once. I enjoyed that this past Saturday more than I did in 03. When we stopped them when they were the number 2 seed from going to the national championship. Side note, Master, to what you said. This is why I don't like 12 teams in the playoff.
Yeah.
Neil Rule said something. I got to give Neil Rule credit. I had thought it before, but he said it, so I'll give him the credit. Shout out to Big D Energy. There has to be some punishment. There has to be some consequence. You cannot lose 2 games. And one of those games is to a team that's unranked. I don't care that it's a rivalry. I don't care that it's your rival. You cannot lose to a team with 6 wins.
A 20-point favorite.
A 20-point favorite. And now Ohio State, what consequences is there? Because they still have maybe the 4th or 5th best chance of winning it all.
Yep.
It's got to be some consequence. And I'm not hating because it's Ohio State. Shoot, this last year I can care less about this year. We beat Ohio State twice. We beat Alabama. We beat Michigan State twice. Beat USC, won that championship. Beat Washington. I can care less about this year. But there has to be some consequence. You cannot lose to a team that's unranked for your second loss.
Right.
And then still have the 2nd to 4th best odds to win
Well
it all.
said.
Something has to change.
You know, as this game was going on, too, and I don't necessarily disagree with you at all. Yeah. Look, college football had a really good regular season, I think, because of all the different matchups that teams played. You know, and I know it's like Big Ten. They're in the Big Ten now, but I mean, Ohio State, Oregon was a classic. You know, you had Texas and Alabama. You know what I mean? Like, these games are being played, and it's awesome. It almost feels like Michigan State versus Kansas in the Maui Classic or something like that. Yeah. Like, it does feel like college football is trending in the direction of college basketball that only March matters.
Which I kind of like, to be honest with you.
Well, I do like it because
I don't want to see Alabama win every year.
Right.
I just don't. I don't think you'll ever see that again.
Michigan plays at Oklahoma next year. Mm-hmm. If you didn't have a 14 playoff, if you didn't have a 12-team playoff, I'm not sure that game stands. You might look for a way out of that game. And you'll go back to playing 4 non-conference games that don't matter. I get that. As this game was going on Saturday, though, I thought to myself, where was this all year long?
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, there was a part of me
that said,
back-to-back
weeks.
Yeah, where was this all week long? And just speaking of back-to-back weeks, this Indiana game, okay? Like a lot of people, once Ohio State thrashed Indiana, they were going to come in and just pound Michigan. I don't know how many people saw the final score in that Ohio State-Indiana game.
Special teams.
And how many people
like
watched that
though.
game. It was not that game.
It wasn't.
There was 2 special teams play and a touchdown scored out of the victory formation. That's why that game was so got out of hand on the scoreboard.
Caleb Downs had that punt return. Side note, Caleb Downs played for Alabama in the Rose Bowl, so he's lost to Michigan twice this year.
Damn.
And Michigan held their own on the road at Indiana, and a couple of bounces of the ball, and you're looking at an 8-win season.
Can I apologize?
Apologize
To Sharon Moore.
I'm going to apologize to Coach Sharon.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right, I'm sorry. You got your team ready. You won your last 2 games. Going to a bowl game. Congrats.
Is it fair to say that if Michigan had a better offense, that we would be a 9-10 win team this year?
Oh, there's no question. They should have won the Washington game.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say better offense. If
Yeah.
Michigan had what? A quarterback.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say better offense. Like, if Michigan had a quarterback and 1 offensive lineman, I think Michigan.
Dude, I don't even know if you need that. You needed. Let me throw a caveat to what you said about a quarterback. They needed a quarterback that didn't turn the ball over in a big situation.
Okay, I'll give you
because a turnover against Washington, you win that game. Could have easily won the Indiana game. You make 1 play.
Yeah.
So that's 2. And there's got to be another one in there somewhere.
No,
They
good thing
lose to
about this
Minnesota.
question,
Yeah. Because I think what
Illinois.
I've learned
Illinois. They
Illinois.
should have beaten Illinois.
Illinois.
Because I think what I've learned is Wink Martindale wasn't necessarily the issue. You got to give him credit for how he coached over this weekend. But Kirk Campbell, that's a whole different story.
KG, Wink Martindale is now a Michigan legend.
Yes.
That's a fact.
Seriously.
Yeah, no, that's real.
Wink Martindale is now a Michigan legend.
And
That's
another
true.
black mark against who? The New York Football Giants. Think about it.
Right.
They
That's always
have
bringing it back.
done nothing right this year.
And you know who else is a Michigan legend? Sharon Moore. And I too owe Sharon Moore an apology. And maybe my feelings about Sharon Moore completely changed because of the quarterback situation, getting Bryce Underwood. Once they got Bryce Underwood, and whether, again, that's Sharon Moore, whether that's NIL, whether that's whatever, Sharon Moore gets the credit because he's the head football coach at the University of Michigan. So you get the credit for that. I don't care what the reason is. That alone completely changed my perspective on him. And then to go into Columbus and win really your first game against Ohio State as the head coach. And I know last year was the acting head coach in the game.
But we know who coached the whole week.
Harbaugh's coaching the whole week. It's Harbaugh's game plan. It's Harbaugh's staff. It's Harbaugh's play. Sharon Moore gets an awful lot of credit. And here's what he had to say post-game, Sharon Moore.
I told everybody to listen, listen to the sounds, and there was nothing. So we knew at 10-10 we had them, and that was the goal. We wanted to just keep on the ropes, keep fighting, and our guys did that. But it wasn't really about what anybody else thought. We didn't talk about belief. We just talked about trusting each other, trusting yourself, trusting what you can do, and go win the game.
Coach Moore was saying it all. I mean, like last time they was in the shoe, it got real quiet. You can hear a pin drop in here. And first quarter, fans were rowdy, loud, as we expected to be, and just stay poised in the moment.
To be able to hear a pin drop is crazy considering it's the second largest stadium in the Big Ten and one of the largest stadiums in the country. I think Penn State's probably the only stadium that's louder. Look, Coach Sharon Moore, early on, I always said, man, just you got to give him some time. KG was a big proponent of that, even necessary when I wasn't. But I told you after the Washington game, I just didn't see it. I told you for me it was a Washington game where I saw him, he just couldn't get his players together. So I, too, in that sense, was wrong. But now it goes back to what we said. This era, he could be the coach. You look at what just happened. We said they needed a quarterback. Well, newsflash, they got one. They got one in Bryce Underwood, the number 1 player in the country. He's coming back. There are no more great coaches. So, the notion that you're going to find a Nick Saban or Jim Harbaugh or one of these legendary coaches to come to the school, newsflash, there are none. DeBoer, who we thought was this great coach out of Washington, what has he done with all that talent in Alabama? Insert coach here, James Franklin. Yeah, his team's lost one game again. We know who James Franklin is. He can't get over the hump. You got to be able to connect your players to an identity. You got to be able to bring your players in. You can't tell me that the Michigan identity that Jim Harbaugh had didn't fall with Sharon and he's keeping it going. You don't think all those 5 stars that were on the sideline in Columbus didn't see how Michigan was as a team together to get that win? Like Sharon Moore, now you have the number 1 player in the country essentially coming to your program. Like, this Saturday meant a lot, and I don't think people know the ramifications of what it meant for the University of Michigan. University of Michigan will win another national championship inside 2 years. Put money on that.
They're flipping players left and right, too, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah, Jordan Young, go for it. Jordan Young, four-star defensive back Jordan Young flips his commitment from Clemson to the University of Michigan, so another 4-star. This is just an attraction now that the University of Michigan will continue to dominate.
It's great, but I want to tip my hat off to Davis Warren. I do. He beat Ohio State. How many big-name quarterbacks in Michigan history, and we can rattle them off, had a hard time to beat Ohio State? Look, that play they called on 1st and goal from the inside the 5-yard line, it was a great call. The kid missed the pass. It was intercepted by Sawyer. And you thought the game was over then.
Yep.
But no, 3 and out. They get the ball back, and they take another 6 minutes off the clock. They played the perfect game. So we can say what we want about Kirk Campbell or whatever. He called a great game in that game. And Davis Warren is 1-0 against Ohio State. From a guy that walked on to the field. Walk on. Horrible year. Horrible. Yeah. He beat Ohio State.
Yeah, see now, Maz, we were having a great day.
I swear.
I was agreeing with everything you said. You came up here, you spitting knowledge, you spitting facts. I'm like, yep, go ahead, tell him, Maz. Go ahead.
Spitting it.
Wait, what? He called a great game?
Yeah.
He called a great series. And in that series, Davis Warren had a great play. The run, like he had a great run. That was a great, so.
Couple of 3rd down plays that he made.
That's where.
Couple passes that he made, 3rd and long. And he did his job on Saturday.
Okay, say that.
That's what I was going to mention that because, look, they held on to the ball and they held on to the ball at the time of possession anyway, kept Ohio State's offense off the field, and and here's where I'll give you, now I tweeted out over the weekend, or I posted on X, after that interception, I never want to see Davis Warren take another snap in my life, and it worked out.